All right, tonight we got up, I mean, just a beautiful phenotype, a beautiful specimen of a pod right here. Um, this is the definition. This is what a pod looks like when you say, you know, uh, a pod. I don't know. You know what I mean? This is an MA Wartryx, and this was grown by my Alabama brother, Michael Purvis, sent to me for review. He wanted to know specifically on this pod if I get fruity from it. Typically, pods like this, I get floral. I don't get a whole lot of that fruity sweetness that some other people get. Some people get that from Carolina Reapers, Dragon's Breath, Seven Pot Primos, different things. I don't tend to that much, you know, unless my flavor is off a bit. I don't know. So I'm kind of not looking forward to this one, but here we are. I don't know if I've ever had an MA Wartrix before, and if I have, it was a few years back at least, because I don't remember, but I'm familiar with the pepper, and it sounds familiar to me. But again, my buddy Mike, first year growing, grows some. He's so far everything he's gotten me has been super tasty, super high burn, really good tasting pods. Now this pepper was originally accidentally created by Matthew Arthur, and it's an accidental cross of a Trinidad scorpion pepper, a 7-pot Jonah, and a Umbada Kumbachi. I know I'm botching that name. I've never heard of that particular pepper variety myself, but apparently it's a three-way cross: a 7-pot Jonah, Trinidad scorpion, and this other pod that I know I can't pronounce, like Umbada Kompachi, something like that. I'm not sure. Let's just try it. Oh man, a lot of seeds in there. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe a little bit, Mike. Mm-hmm. It's a really cool looking pod. I think he picked out. Oh, I got it in my eye. That's never happened on video before. Mm. Mm-hmm. This is gonna be a rough ride, fellas and women, whoever's watching. Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. It snapped up on that crunch. All right, we're all right. We'll be all right. um, so I'm getting some of that fruitiness you were talking about, Mike. Um, mm-hmm. Again, I'll show you. Again, I want to point out the stem on this pod. I mean, it's thick. You know what I mean? It's like a weed, like a strong weed almost, you know? Anyway, there's another one for the birds. All right, so she warm. Yeah, Mike, I can pick up on that fruitiness you're talking about. And maybe it's because, you know, I typically don't generally, right, go into the pepper going like, this is what I'm seeking, right, as far as heat or flavor, right? I'm just, let's see what it's about. Now, sometimes, you know, if I eat another one of those, I'm going to have a much better idea, of course. But even then, I don't particularly think overly about it. I just eat it and see where we're at and what happens, right? So maybe I'm picking up on it a little bit just because that's what we talked about and that's what I was kind of, you know, trying to pick out. You know what I'm saying? You know, again though, I get a little floral there too. Now, that pod is certainly not as floral as, you know, a Carolina Reaper, some chocolate pods, things of that nature. This thing's actually really good. And my buddy Mike and I, we were talking about this pod before he sent these to me, because he had, I don't know if he watched my video on that skunk red, or just saw my picture of it. I think he just saw my picture on Facebook or something, and, you know, commented on it saying should be fruity, and I didn't get any fruitiness off that thing. That thing just was straight floral, disgusting. This pod, this is tasty. This is a good one. Like, this is what I was hoping that skunk red was gonna kind of be more similar to. Anyway, and so that's what got us on the tangent about this, because half of the cross on the red skunk is an MA Wartryx, which is what we just ate, right? Getting back to this particular pod or variety, I think the average Scoville on these is right at 1 million, can get up to like maybe 1.2 million. That seems pretty accurate to me. That's about where I'm at with it. I mean, it seems fitting in there. But again, it did have some fruitiness. I've got a little bit of sweetness on the lips. I can kind of taste it. The burn on this, it was weird. The second bite on that pepper, I got a little throat burn going on after I swallowed the first bit of it and then took another bite. I immediately got a sharp, like, little throat burn kind of happening, and then that dissipated and it really hasn't come back. I don't have any throat burn. This is all a tongue burn, and it's all underneath the tongue, and it's like underneath the tongue is lit really good, and then as it goes up the sides of the tongue, you know, to then be the top of the tongue, it's lit right there, and you can feel it. It's stronger down here in the middle, and then it gradually goes up the sides of the tongue, and then a little bit on the tip of the tongue. But it's almost like the heat is so much hotter underneath the tongue right in the middle, and then it just gradually, you can feel it getting less, but it's still there. You know what I mean? That's a good pod. I just was kind of putting that one off for a few days because I you know, because that red skunk, that's not my jam. That thing is just not, that's not a friend. You know what I mean? This is a friend. That one, that was not a friend. My TikTok friends, you're going to lose me here. I'm going to keep burning and chatting on this pod. Again, Mike, thank you, bud. Appreciate it a lot. Yeah, so I was kind of just a little sketch on this because half of that skunk red red skunk is supposed to be this pod. But anyway, again, that's a beautiful pepper. I love the shape of that. I like the bright red color of that. And I do get fruitiness. I mean, I really do. I mean, and I get just a little bit of floral, but it's not overpowering. I'm surprised. I really didn't think I would get any fruitiness off that. I typically don't on pods that are like that. But I just think other flavors sometimes outshine and outpower maybe the fruitiness of other particular varieties, and so I don't pick up on it too much because I'm picking up so much of the other things to that particular variety that I just kind of skim over it and don't see it. There was only two flavors. It was a little fruity and then a little bit floral, but not too much. Anyways, I'm rambling. I'm talking about the same thing. So again, that pepper is a 3-way cross, right? Trinidad Scorpion, 7-pot Jonah, and I wrote it down. Umbatuba, so U-B-A-T-U-B-A, Umbatuba Cambuci, C-A-M-B-U-C-C-I. C-A-M-B-U-C-C-I. So again, I don't know what that is. I'm going to look that pepper up tonight probably just to learn a little bit about it. I'll be honest, I didn't care about it too much before doing this video, because I thought it was just a 2-way cross. I had researched this pod, I don't know, when Mike sent these pods to me, I looked it up and I just briefly skimmed over some things and I just saw that, Trinidad 7-pot Jonah, and was kind of like, that's it. And then happened today at lunch to be reading a little bit more, and that's where I came across 2 different sources that had it as like a accidental 3-way cross. So pretty cool. Anyways, guys, appreciate you. We'll see you on the next video. As always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks.